dependent on them, and majority of this only occurs
जी
on the women. The perpetrator is mainly men,
men
and now, of course, the dimension changing
जी
because I mean, same marriage, same-sex marriages, and different things.
जी
But I would say that majority is uh, it's just dominance over the woman,
okay
and that could be like
okay
basically
all right
cultural and different things.
all right
Like,
Nina,
but
in your opinion, Nina, domestic abuse or violence, also sexual abuse is part of domestic violence as well, because sexual abuse could be out of relationship also. So so how would you define the sexual abuse as a domestic violence or a domestic abuse?
Yes, I think I agree with Mr. James. It takes different forms. And
जी
this is one of the, as he said, there's emotional, economical, and physical. And this is only like within, I will say, the intimate relationship, like in their marriage or if they are friends, like live-in relationship or this kind. It can take up, like as he said, it's one of the form, we can talk about,
राइट
yes.
मेरा क्वेश्चन नहीं ना यह है इफ सिचुएशन इज अ रेप सिचुएशन दैट्स नॉट डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस एम आई राइट सिरिल भाई आपके ओपिनियन में रेप जो होता है इट कैन बी आउटसाइड द प्रेमिस ऑफ द हाउस सो इन दैट केस दैट कैन नॉट बी अ डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस राइट दैट्स अ क्राइम outside as a rape is a crime by itself, right? Go ahead, please.
yeah. But basically, domestic violence we're talking about is the family environment.
जी
Whether it's whichever way, whether they're same sex or whatever.
जी
Uh, uh, to me, it's basically committed there, and sexual. Uh, See, the problem is also there is a gender problem. Problem is that like culturally and gender and also like if the country allows it,
जी
so like Australia and Western countries, sexes are the same, male and female, they've got the same rights. But in other countries, like I come from a different background where male is a dominant.
जी
And can I give you a little example of Chhattisgarh
जी
High Court, which said there is no sexual, like if a man forces a woman, it's not a rape in a marriage.
जी जी जी
So they've gone to that extent of defining, whereas a woman, earlier times, like in Bombay and different places, they stood up and a man was reprimanded. They
अच्छा
haven't like punished them.
जी
But in Chhattisgarh, this is about 2 weeks ago, the court ruling came up
राइट
from the High Court that
बट
the woman.
मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है सिरिल भाई आपके लिए और नीना जी के लिए भी है कि व्हेन कपल गेट्स मैरिड दे टेक वोट इन द चर्च टिल दे डू पार्ट राइट दैट मीन्स मैरिज इटसेल्फ इज ट्राई टू ब्रिंग आउट कि इट्स कंसेंशुअल है फॉर बोथ पार्टनर्स टू वॉट एवर दे डू बट नाउ द न्यू रेगुलेशन न्यू लॉज वी आर ट्राइंग टू ब्रिंग आउट इज फॉर ईच सेशन ऑफ वॉट एवर यू वांट टू हैव इट हैज़ टू हैव अ कंसेंट फॉर द वुमन and that has been the basis for a divorce also. So is it really applicable in court of law? I mean, if you don't consent to have sex with the partner, that means if you force it's abuse. How can they prove that?
Well, you asking me or ask?
I'm just
Nina
both
first?
of you ask. I mean, it doesn't matter, Nina, or you can answer this question. You understand, right? What I'm saying, a point I'm bringing out here.
Yeah.
When
I think this basic thing, there is a mutual respect and mutual love,
जी
right? So the question of that doesn't arise.
जी
Where
हाँ
a man is trying to
हाँ
force his way,
जी
whether he's drunk or in any inebriated form,
जी
that he should be taking those steps of putting the woman, because what he's trying to do then is the woman loses her self-respect.
जी जी
So if he loves her, he'll never do that to her. So to me, it's mutual respect in a marriage. And she has promised, or both of them have promised, yes, we'll stay together till death do us part, whether it's Christianity or Hinduism or any other religion.
True,
They all
true.
bind us to the same thing.
ट्रू नाउ व्हेन
So,
नीना आपसे एक सवाल है नीना कि अभी कंसेंस बोल रहे हैं दैट मीन्स it's taken for granted as Cyril bhai is saying that once you marry is unsaid, although it's a unsaid kind of a consent to really whenever however. But again the question comes here is, if the woman goes through a monthly period whatever, then it's definitely an abuse. So obviously you're torturing the woman. So that is the most important factor here, I guess. And that is, most men don't realize that they have the instinct, animal instinct, that whenever they want, they want. But the woman should stand strong. Nina, your thought about this on that point, Mina?
I mean, I agree about this case. As he said, women and they should respect each other. वो respect होनी चाहिए, and I think it's a mutual consensus. इसमें एक का नहीं है.
जी.
You know what he wants, so she should always provide.
जी.
So
जी.
definitely, I think you have to have. उसमें self confidence. मुझे ये लगता है कि everything starts with how you grew up. Like आप कैसे अपने आप की self esteem. If you have low self esteem and you accept, like कोई bully करता है, कोई body shaming, like there are so many forms. You get, abuse, not only in the house, like outside working places. So I think everything comes, कि अगर आपका self-confidence है, so you can, stand up for your position. You can say no. No means no. I think that's...
Right, Nina? मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि it's happening inside the four walls of a room. So how would the woman try to prove कि ये abuse है, ये consent नहीं दिया? Because आपस husband is your word against the husband's word, right?
I mean, that comes to the lawyers to, really, that's what I'm saying. I have, it's difficult to say. It's difficult to say.
Exactly.
But, yeah, it's very difficult to say. But I think sometimes maybe situation arise and, then this is a question of lawyers and, talking about these things. But it is difficult.
You brought a very interesting point, in a case up to the lawyers to really create some kind of a way. But in the court of law, unless you're going for divorce, it's taken as a consent. In the court of law, how will they prove unless you understand, unless the woman goes to the doctor, proves that there's an injury there? I mean, it's very hard, right? I mean, it's just kind of a ploy trying to just get the divorce settlement. Money drives this situation.
Oh, I'm hungry. What is it?
Yeah. That's what I was saying, like maybe we are not professionals, and I don't know at least. And if we had a lawyer in our panel, maybe we could have asked this question, like how they prove and how they.
Right, Cyril bhai, you please your thought on this. What I'm just trying to bring a point here is how will it be proved कि consent नहीं हुआ, consent हुआ? It's very difficult, right, to really, because they are interested to get divorced because settlement पैसा आएगा. That's the reason I think these lawyers here, they try to create some kind of a. Go ahead, Cyril bhai.
See, where there are two people involved,
जी.
It's over a period of time.
जी.
But abuse doesn't happen. Overnight.
जी.
It doesn't happen.
जी.
It happens over a period of time. It could be months. It could be weeks. It could be years. Right.
जी. हाँ.
The person has his way, and he's gone used to, or he or she, whatever.
जी. जी.
Like has gone used to getting their way all the time, right? So it becomes quite easy when it becomes a little more clearer when when the woman says, "All right, I had enough, and enough is enough for me now," right?
जी.
So I'll take the first step,
जी.
right? But that is basically she won't break a family. Any person would not break a family.
Correct.
I may be soft on that side,
जी.
but majority of us, like with common sense, because we've got our children or responsibilities and different things,
right,
nobody would ever take that stop. That will be the last step.
Right.
But when it becomes unbearable,
जी.
like in India and other places, we got the elders. The pressure can be brought in from those sections or from their friends and different things, right?
जी.
Not that telling them directly that what the person is doing and why he's doing it, not that, but just the इशारे से ही काफी काम हो जाता था वहाँ समझाने वाले काफी लोग थे.
लेकिन
अब जो है यहाँ पर in Western countries, we are all by ourselves.
जी
So it's very important that we got to have friends who are very close, intimate friends, not only as a woman to woman, but as a family.
जी
And any family members, any other people who are coming to visit us and different things, they can make out, how come
No,
this guy is
मेरा
so aggressive.
मेरा question ये है, if the woman finally decides enough is enough, I want to get out of this. So, but over a period of time, Cyril bhai, there's repeated kind of abuse. Does she need to document that just is her word against the man's word? That's something, it's very tricky there, right?
Oh, look, today, a woman going through a divorce in India,
Right,
the courts are in favor of her. Totally.
right.
Correct?
Mhm.
All she has to say is, look, he's been abusing me or divorcing me. The legal rights of a woman is much more,
Right,
okay, in India.
Right.
And also in the Western countries.
जी,
Yeah, it's the same thing, right?
yeah,
In a Western country, it's much more pronounced. But in a Western country, a woman is much more equal because she's aware of her rights.
right.
In India, they may not be, or in any other third world country,
Right.
they may not be.
Right, but as far as I understand the Sharia, the Islamic law, the woman has got the right to take khula. Khula means she has the right to take a divorce under these situations. It's not just man has to only get divorced. Women can also ask for a divorce. So that thing is very, I think, important. Is where the women's rights is well protected, much better. I think. मेरे ख्याल से. Nina, your thoughts, Nina, on that documentation?
I'm hearing, I think it's not only women, I think society is changing. I see some of the men are also facing this kind of a problem.
Achha.
And not only marriage ke baad, even, like in their relationship, sometimes women are also, I think हमारी भी इस country में, I know he's comparing India और यहाँ की, of course people know their rights, के हमारे rights हैं, but no one knows the duty. I think that's what probably trigger करता है ये all this situation.
Great.
कि of course they know the rights women here and India में शायद उनको नहीं पता, but I think things are changing. And I see back in India also, and we can say now that men are only aggressive. I've seen women also very aggressive. So
Right.
it's changing now. It's really
Correct. मेरा question ये है आप दोनों के लिए कि when you get married, right, you register yourself as a married, but there's no saying that you're not going to have. So जिस तरह आप divorce लेते हैं, why should you say your right to divorce? Should you have to explain the reason for that? Cyril
Yeah,
bhai,
of
please go.
course. Yeah, of course. I mean, I've heard other people talking about it, and that's what I'm saying. I don't have first-hand
नहीं, general discuss कर रहे हैं ना.
or I haven't heard. But definitely, when you hear these things, and you read in newspapers and like stories about it, definitely they document it. They tell each and so that's what I'm saying. Even when Me Too, that thing came up a year or 2 years ago. Some people, I think women only said, oh, maybe they are doing it now for money. So it's very difficult for women also to, how to prove these things.
True.
So
नहीं, but मैं क्या
I think,
right, Cyril bhai, मेरा question ये है, since you're marrying with consent to each other, and obviously divorce also should be consent to each other. So why would the court be involved it's mutual understanding. They just on a very mutually they can go for a divorce. They don't have to go through the courts, right?
The majority of the time, or what I understand is
Ji.
just basically conciliatory agreement is much better,
जी,
and which everybody tries. Even the lawyers would say, well, if it is really broken down,
Ji.
the marriage, then the last question comes up.
जी,
And divorce is easy, very easy to get through, right? Okay, alimony and different things, and all those things are later on. But basic thing is mutual consent. All of them, it gears up towards that if both of you agree to that, why don't you have it?
right. Okay,
So in that way, it becomes easier for the children to be shared, different periods of time, whatever period, 1 week here, 1 week there, or whatever.
right.
Those agreements can be done with the properties and different things. which is much pleasant because the lawyers will only please them,
True. Now, as we have just